Oh, that is loud. Hello, I'm back with another stream. Tuesday, just like I said. Once again, I'm going to get into this as fast as possible, as I have much less time today than I had any other time. But I'm going to be playing the Stanley Parable 2 again. And if I remember correctly, this time we have more sliders. So last time I made a massive mistake and I accidentally left the game muted the whole time. But this time I'm being smarter. I left the desktop audio unmuted. So it's not going to happen again. And in fact, I'm staring at it now to make sure that it's not going to happen again. And it seems that everything is unmuted. Alright. So, please adjust the slider until the computer's... Where's my mouse? The mouse has disappeared. Okay. My mouse is gone. Adjust the slider until the dog and the cat are friends. I guess these are the more sliders. Please adjust the slider until the number 5 becomes the number 9. Wait, where's my... I can't... My mouse is gone! Okay, wait. Hang on, I can figure this out. What the... What happens if I get one wrong? Adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. Okay. Sure, I guess. This is so hard to do when I can't see anything. Which of the two made up words below is the most appealing to you? Scrumtush or Ocupoinical? I'll go towards that one. Almost as good as Pumpscosity. Please don't adjust the slider. Okay. Do you know what time it is right now? Yes. Is the time that it is right now the correct time? Yes. What is time anyway? No. Is there anything about yourself that you haven't told me? Yes. Help. No. Will you come back to visit me? Yes. Alright, there we go. Okay, that was definitely odd. I hope we get more sliders next time. Let me just check audio is working. Alright, there we go. Oh, that is loud. My voice is really loud. Hang on, let me turn up the game. How's that? Let me just check audio is working. Oh, that is loud. My voice is You didn't hear myself. Hang on, let me turn up the game. How's that? Alright, I'm going to turn down the audio a little bit more. Alright, there we go. That should be good. If that's bad, feel free to tell me. How much Bumpscosity should I have? I have 1,000. Why not? Alright. So, I want to try the bucket thing. There was a sign. Oh, yeah. So what I want to do is, I want to do the Mariella ending, because the bucket is supposed to, like, reassure you, right? So if I go in there, maybe I won't... Sorry. Maybe I won't go crazy because I have the bucket. And also, there's a sign that says, no buckets beyond this point. Sorry, I was just getting some water.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
Figurine Finders Committee. What happens if I don't bring the
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket
apparently there's
to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Apparently there's a meeting. So I'm actually going to do the Mariella ending first. What have we got? How can we find them? There will be a reward for finding them all. No, there won't. Lies. Who are you? 666 lol. There will be cleaning of this wall required. I want them so much. I want to go home. Stop kidding yourselves. Lol, looks like 427. Ha ha ha. 5 there be. Just take it from me. Gotta collect them all. Places to search. Is this some kind of game? There must be a point to this. Okay. There's one at stairs. There's one at the red and blue doors. There's one probably in the boss's office. And one, probably, I'm guessing in the in the boss's bathroom or whatever. Warehouse access plan. Produce one plank to allow ease of access past fence. Construct bridge to allow a collection of shiny float. Retrieve Chris's remains from warehouse floor. Construct a new structurally sound bridge. We need more planks. Trust the completionist instinct. Why wouldn't they just tell us something will happen? This investigation, this room, they feel pointless to be honest. Weird spinning figurines. Artist surrendering. Employee 003. Okay, so should we make them employees, interns? Yes, maybe. What do they want? Money, stock options, our data. Saw one in cargo room. Employee 421 building a bridge. Do we need contracts for them? Potential liability and NDA. Bonus stuff, what we know, what we forgot, what we don't know yet. Can we sell them? Obviously. More money if sold together. How many are there? Something 151.6. Why floating? Dreams, magic, our quarterly success, magnets, training exercise by management. Okay, agenda. How can you tell you spotted one? What makes them float in the air? Who took these pictures of them? Okay, let's find out. Fig leaves are hard to find. Follow clues provided by employee 416. We can do it. Red room. Oh, that's under the stairs. Thank you. Good luck. Are you going to move to the next one? How can we find them? Bottom text. What we know, small floating objects have appeared across the office. We have to synergize our resources to ensure their retrieval. There are many questions. There was no memo from management. And then it goes back. Okay, so. Employee bathroom. Source of levitation. Picture. Difficult findings. Maybe we are the collectibles. Shut the frick up. Movement may concern. I managed to pick up sounds unusual to our regular office ambiences or local audio sources using an array of cardioid microphones, also known as directional mic, a microphone which picks up sound from a particular area. Analysis of the recordings allowed me to triangulate the source of the strange noise. Data shows that in all likelihood it's coming from a dark area behind a very warm place. I also picked up what appears to be reverberance of a porcelain surface. Anyone have any leads on this? Wouldn't you like to know? clues/myclue.jpg. Please do not leave the office before reporting back on any new findings. Teamwork and communication are great. Okay. Help. I'm a post-it. Alright. Do I get different dialogue in here if I have the bucket?
Oh, Stanley. Can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. The bucket, it belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here.
Screw the broom
closet. Supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong
Please tell me
friend.
there's a boss fight.
You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley,
his voice
I never liked this
sounded
broom
like it
closet
just
for a
died.
variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That
How
your
dare
relationship
they?
is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never.
I can't
Go on,
believe that.
Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together.
I will.
Go through each of them point by point.
Broom closet?
Share your journal
You
entries
suck.
detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
No. No part 2. No the trilogy.
Okay, I've
Okay.
got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go.
Property
There.
estate.
Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion.
I win.
Take our hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Wait, how did the narrator put that on there? Is
All
it?
right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see, I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket.
Yeah.
That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Yes, there is. How long does the dialogue go on for? Have I seen it all? Is it done?
You know what?
Oh.
I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment.
I
and
can't
to be honest,
believe it.
I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Alright, is that it? I'm gonna wait 10 seconds. What's that noise? Oh, it's the bucket. Alright, I think it's done. Do I go back in? No. Okay. Onwards.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Nope. Okay, I think there's a collect. Yeah, there is.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs.
I think there's like
What about
figlies.
Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Someone already said figlies. Okay.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
But I've got the
He
bucket.
looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps.
But it
How
says
did I
property
end up
of
with someone
Stanley.
else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would
No!
come from this.
The
Who
bucket!
knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the
Where's the
psychologically
bucket?
grounding presence of his bucket? And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it.
Yeah,
Far
where
off
did
in the
it go?
distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket. Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next.
Oh,
None of them
no.
were his. None of them were his special bucket.
All I gotta do is look out for the stickers.
Find me. He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
What kind of ending was that?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was.
He had lost his
This
bucket.
man had gone bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
That is the best ending I have ever seen.
All of his co-workers
What
were
was
gone.
with that?
Did
What was
we?
the point?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a
And
minute.
it
The
keeps the
confusion and the
stickers.
chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone?
That was such a stupid ending.
Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear.
We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket?
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
It has a
Said the
bro.
bucket.
Not since the
Brow?
evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like...
What?
My God, Stanley, you did it. You
No!
saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power.
No!
Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless.
The bucket!
You've demonstrated such
No!
bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
Please tell me the bucket isn't gone forever.
all of his co-workers were gone,
Please
what
tell
could
me
it
it's
mean?
not gone forever.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Oh,
Perhaps
okay,
he had
it's
simply
good
missed. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his
That
arms again,
is
he was
brilliant.
home.
Alright, I'm gonna go past the sign.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
No. Alright. Where's the sign? There. Okay.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, why would you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket.
I bet.
Please, step in here for a moment.
Oh no. Is this a bucket?
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us
place
everything
looks
we'll
pretty
ever
cool,
need
though.
to know about what is or is not a bucket.
Okay.
Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket,
What?
not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a 3D printed
my
recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
But that would still be a bucket.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Correct. This is a
I got it
bucket.
right.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Definitely.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a
No,
gimmick.
no,
How
it's
on
a-
earth did you manage to screw it
It's-
up?
it's a-
Absolutely incredible.
It's a bucket. It's a
Let's just
bucket.
move on to the
What are you on about? It's a bucket.
Is this a bucket?
Tractor.
Correct. This
What?
is a bucket.
What? How is that a bucket? Are you serious?
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
It's not.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
What?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. Should
Oh
be
my
around here
goodness.
somewhere.
Is it the bucket I'm holding?
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here.
I
Of
win.
course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait,
Yes.
When I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which
Is
of course is
everything
not true.
is
Unless-
everything about
is
to
that what you
become a
think?
bucket?
Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
Oh, this is a hard one.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
That is a good question.
Stanley, I can't keep doing this.
You are a bucket.
I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had.
I
to
can
begin
do
with.
both.
I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets
No!
from the game entirely.
Don't do
Okay,
it.
Here we go.
No. Did he just snap his fingers?
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did
Oh, it's
everything
because
disappear?
everything's a
Was
bucket.
everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all.
But you
And
are.
you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets.
Who would have thought?
Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And
Okay.
we'll know that it's all a bucket.
Yes.
But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? Right, here we go.
Everything's a bucket. In fact, I'm gonna message that straight up right now. Everything is a bucket. I'm sending that to a group chat in Discord. Okay, now I've done that, let's continue.
All of his co-workers were gone.
What could it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
Alright,
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
you know what? Let's go. Let's go to on left. I'm gonna go to the executive bathroom. Okay. I found red and blue, that's right. That's... Okay, I think I know what all of those are. I think I know where it will be. I wish there was
Coming
more
to a staircase,
collectibles.
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
They're not even that hard hidden. Oh,
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines. And now
Oh,
I'm
no.
torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley?
well, someone else
What
said
name
if the
better
board said
encapsulates the
Figlies.
intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by one? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
They're called Figlies. The game said so. What happens if I go into the elevator with the bucket? What the? Okay. Okay, nothing. Alright.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of
How
any
did I get
human
up
life.
here again?
Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
Oh,
Even now,
That's how I do
in
it.
his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos.
I guess it's not
It would
behind
be
me?
with him, always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the
284.5.
boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad
Was
was
284.5.
2845.
Because I'm streaming. Out. It's 8.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Oh, I messed it up.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Yeah, that's
Was
crazy.
it the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Oh, it was here.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the
Figler
last
and
one,
Marines.
and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it.
Yes.
We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them. And now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
Oh. I will be incredibly happy if I get them all and it becomes like out of 30. Current bit rate is higher than the recommended.
The
Well, I
elevator
don't know
raced
what a
down,
bit rate is.
plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to get himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Alright.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Let's go to the museum ending.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
The effort they must have gone
The door behind
to
them was not
rewrite
shut.
this.
Stanley
with
and the bucket still had every
bucket
opportunity
stuff.
to turn around and get back on track.
They had
At this
to
point,
revoice all the
Stanley and the
lines
bucket
of
were
buckets.
knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Whee!
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere.
So
Farewell,
true.
Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly
Oh
into
my
the
gosh.
enormous metal
They
jaws.
even redid this
In a
person with
single
the bucket.
visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end.
No,
as
not
it
the
was
bucket.
crushed violently to death.
But only the bucket. Stanley didn't die.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket.
Yes, it was.
It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
The bucket. Welcomes you to the grand exhibit. Okay. It's talking about bucket and knowledge. Okay, that's boring.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
25 buckets. A photograph of 25 buckets, the greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. The photographer experienced catatonic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from exposure to this many buckets at once. That is not 25 buckets. That is way more than 25 buckets. A bucket with two handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. Oh my goodness. Inferno Bucket. A replica of the Inferno Bucket, which in the medieval era was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, and yet, in spite of it all, the simple fact remains: no one can control a bucket. The stress bucket, an analogy. Worrying, negative forecasting, negative thinking, lack of reassurance, vulnerability, size and strength equals size and strength of the bucket, blah blah blah. Okay, lots of stuff. Presented without commentary. Oh. Wait, what the? There is a seam in this wall. Stanley Parable developers, there is a seam in this wall. Let me screenshot that. I found a seam in the wall. Where is the Discord? I found a seam. Stanley Parable bugs. Okay. Sorry, I must report this bug. It's very important. Add file. Upload. Select. Okay. Upload. What is that noise? What the? There is a seam in the wall in the museum bucket ending. I'm sorry, this is weird to do, but it's significant. Okay, minor bug. Platform be playing on Windows. I'm on. Okay. Okay. Submit. Okay. It's cave drawing. Buckets predate the existence of mankind, and they do not know by how long. The cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures. Ooh,
No
red
man
diamonds.
can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
My bucket says property of Stanley. The hanging bucket symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This distance inevitably is for our own good. Is that the infinite hole?
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine.
No.
Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools
But
and
I'll
implements
just
if only we let
respawn.
Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision for...
Yeah, I think I have to restart for this one.
My God, the bumpscosity in here is absolutely overwhelming. 1,000? You people have got to be nuts. How can you stand this much bumpscosity?
Okay, maybe the bumpscosity was a bit too high. Let me change it down to 100. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna leave the bucket for now. I'm going to go to the museum ending normally. According to some
When Stanley
people, the
came to a
bucket
set
just
of two open
appears
doors,
anyway.
he entered the door on his left.
Somewhere both red and blue. Okay, well I know where that is, so... Oh, there's stuff on here. Beware the false prophet. That's just numbers. Is that F files?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
The bucket finds you, yeah right.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Suck it up.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Calming New Age music.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Alright. There are so many things I can do with the bucket. The game has extensive bucket support. I watched the
Stanley walked
boundary
straight ahead through the
break
large
video,
door that read Mind Control Facility.
and apparently there is something to
Although
do.
this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Apparently there's something to do with the escape pod ending.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every
Oh!
opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Oh yeah, since
At
the
this
sound was
point,
muted
Stanley
yesterday,
was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
since the stream was muted yesterday, I think I'll go back and do the out of bounds glitch and show you the song, because the song is amazing. Alright, let's sit this one out.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
I wonder what the canon ending of the Stanley Parable is.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
I think probably the canon ending is not Stanley, because that's when credits roll. But
And yet
you
it
never
would be
know.
just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Alright, let's explore the museum.
When every
I hope it's
path you can
changed.
walk has been created for you long in
It
advance,
looks similar.
death
So.
becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
So it looks like we just got generally the same things. Filing cabinets. They do not have filing cabinets inside of them. It has been leaked. I've seen it. They do not have filing cabinets in it. It's a lie. Office computers. I don't actually think I've seen the one with solitaire on it. Okay, it looks like it's the same maintenance room. Huh. That's cool. Wow. Welcome back, employee 427. And they've got the bottom of the thing. Okay, there's no way that picture isn't you. Oh, Warzone. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game, but some people interpreted as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. There's a bicycle. That would have been a cool ending, though. I wonder... Ultra Deluxe announcements. The announcement... Okay. I wonder if there is, like, an ending that fully changes the game. Well, okay. Dear narrator, how you stay in shape? Sincerely, Michael the Rock Martin. I need life. Oh! It just switched past it. I never got to see that one. Okay, what did it say? I don't have any friends. Well, what was playing the Stanley Parable helped me make friends. I appreciate the previous Stanley Parable's work of art. I appreciate the credit given to art. Okay. We'll have infinite quests. How many endings? Is it really gonna let me go shopping? I hope it will have a fine selection of desert boots. How do you make a JRPG? How do you make the worst game ever? What is the difference between a dock? Okay. The lounge, an early version of the lounge. The office. Yeah, I think most of this stuff is the same, but there is some new stuff. What have we got? Game design mock-up. Nah. That looks the same, probably, I'm guessing. Countdown room. Exit. Freedom ending. Countdown desk. What's down here? Levers and the original one. Escape menu. We had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu, but very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do. Zending. Early version of Zending. That would have been cool though. Damn. The Zending levers. The player would pull a lever and the narrator would describe what color they pulled. What is this? Trailers. We've ran 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game's development, each meant to convey something about the spirit of the game. This is the first one released in May 2012, which features a series of broken rooms and the voice of the narrator informing viewers that he is preparing a new version of the Stanley Parable. I don't actually think I've seen that. Maybe that... I don't think that was in the original museum ending. Apartment timer. Cargo lift. That stuff was all there. I've gone lost. I'm lost. 1 option, 2 options, 1 option, and vent. Oh, vent would have been cool. Wormhole! It's a wormhole! Or something. Okay, I think... Is that everything? I think that may be everything. I probably missed the whole entire section. Let me go around and check. What do we got? Boss's office. Office clock. Freedom ending. I assume that was the original one. I gotta play the original Half-Life mod sometime. I have it downloaded and I've gotten like 1 ending in it, but...
Red button. Stanley pushed the big red button.
So these were outtakes.
And finally, he pushed the number 9. Stanley stood on the snow.
Snow. That also reminds me, where is the mumbling room? Apparently it is a thing. If you didn't know, the mumbling room is supposed to be a room where the narrator mumbles for ages.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you.
Hey! Ooh! I got the short hallway.
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly
I
to
could
his
technically
chest
speedrun
and
this.
entered the door on his left.
But I'm not going to. I'm going to get the out of bounds thing. After I get the party time secret. Actually, I forgot to do that.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I love the bucket though.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Well,
Was
you
the
could
bucket
use the
guiding
bucket to
him?
speedrun really well.
Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Because it completely skips the new age music. Why is there not a speedrun.com category for speedrunning the normal ending?
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with
Oh, I almost
television
fell off.
screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped,
Oh, what?
monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well?
I hope not.
Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place?
That is a good question.
These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Alright, I'm gonna sit here and wait. I think you have to wait a minute. Alright, in the meantime, I've got a video. I found this. So apparently this is cut content. It's apparently cut content from the Stanley Parable. That's funny.
he
Please don't
he
explain.
turned himself. He turned himself into a pickle, Stanley. A pickle? It was without a doubt the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Okay, I just wanted to show that. Yeah, so that's a nice. That's a Apparently cut content. Apparently cut content. Oh. Yes!
No! He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could
Such a good
trust no
secret.
one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content.
Wait, what?
Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way.
In
The
a
bucket
really
made a
cool
sassy
way.
comment about taking down the system.
I bet it did.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth.
What?
Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it
Sneeze.
halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end.
What was...
True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together.
There was nothing
with one
simple
another
about
to lean
that.
on, to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was
No.
Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
No!
Even the facility
No.
itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
What an ending. Alright, speedrun time.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked.
Oh wait, no, I can't
Stanley
get
clutched the
the...
bucket
I
tightly
can't
to
get
his
the ending
chest
of the bucket.
and entered
Never
the
mind.
door on his left.
Alright, I'm gonna try and do the countdown ending. Wait, no. I'll get the last collectible and do the playtest ending. Oh wait, I went the wrong
Coming
way.
to a
Yeah, never mind.
staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Alright. So, I'm gonna
Stepping
glitch out
into
for
his
that.
manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Then there's the down and up and down and up ending.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight
There
ahead
are
through the
so
large
many
door that
endings I
read
can get through.
Mind Control Facility.
There is so much this game, it is ridiculous.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully, he fell
tripped.
directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his
Safely
fall.
cushioned his... Oh
Now,
my goodness.
What to do next? Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here, a bit cold perhaps. After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis. But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really
Right.
started to feel like a home.
Oh my
In fact,
goodness.
after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going
What does
back,
that mug say?
doing it over again, staying on
Two
the
is
path.
more than one is less
It
than
was a
two is
mistake
more
to
than
leave
one
the
is less
path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This
That's
made
not the
no
true
sense
ending,
at
though,
all
is
to
it?
the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was unconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending. But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on.
This is an ending.
The two of them waited for a very long time.
Alright, I'm gonna speed run.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
What?
When
What is the
Stanley came
context
to a set
behind
of
that?
2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Because that is odd dialogue I've never heard before.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Cool. Okay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each
frick.
bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley,
Okay,
one of
I
them,
did not save much
eternally
time for that.
monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe
I might
it
not get
couldn't
this
be
speed
true.
run.
Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley...
This is the ultimate speedrun. How quick was that?
Blackness.
I mean, it's
And a rising
not
chill
done
of
until
uncertainty.
why we go. And,
Was it
yeah.
over?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, there it is.
He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere
View all
moments
achievements.
away.
Best
yet,
achievement, commitment,
Even as the
speedrun,
immense door
super
slowly
driver.
opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where
All
had
endings
his
float. How
co-workers
many
gone?
endings is there?
How had he been freed from the machine's grasp?
Oh my
What
goodness,
other
oh, what?
mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing.
Please
worth
tell me I
knowing.
get the speedrun.
Stanley stepped through the open door.
Please tell me it's good.
Stanley
I
felt
don't
the
think I got
cool
it.
breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation,
Nah, I
the
think I
immense
missed that.
possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Yeah, I think I missed out on that speedrun. Alright,
All of his co-workers were gone.
let's do
What
the
could it
song.
mean? Stanley
Oh, wait.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a good bucket,
Never
a
mind.
strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
I'll go to the right.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him
Oh, wait,
that
I
the
can't go there with
employee
the
lounge
bucket.
was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the
I could
door
do
on
the
his left
confusion
to
ending
go
of the
back to
bucket.
the meeting room.
No, it was telling me to do the apartment ending.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to
Oh,
the
I could-
meeting room.
I could
Go
do this
somewhere
ending.
else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the car.
Go to the cut. Okay, let's see how this ending changes. Oh,
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many
who
times
is
I've done
voicing
it,
this?
It's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
Isn't that wizard dude that the bucket fought? That was a weird ending. Alright. I'm gonna quickly go do something. I'll be right back. I'll figure out what to do next. Probably I'll get the final collectible. I'll be right back. I'm back. I'm back. Don't worry, I'm back. Alright.
Who turned up the bumpscosity so high? I like bumpscosity as much as the next person, but 100 is quite a lot, wouldn't you say?
Do you want me to turn it down to 0? I'll make it 0. Alright, so I'm gonna get the playtest setting again. Because there is a possibility I could
When
find the
Stanley
test
came to a
achievement
set of 2 open
machine
doors,
there.
this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Alright, so
Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot
I think
here.
the only
I'm not sure
endings
anything
I haven't
really
gone
on-
normally
I realize
is
that
the
investing your trust in someone
countdown
else can
ending,
be difficult,
and
but
I was
the
gonna do
fact
the
is that
jump
the
off
story
the
has been
thing
about
ending,
nothing
the
but
bug
you
ending.
all this time. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration
I
for
can't
others?
remember if
Are
there's
you
any other
that
endings
convinced
I've
that I
gone.
want something bad
Oh yeah,
to
the
happen
art
to you?
ending, but I'm not
Why,
getting that.
I
I've
don't know
never
how to
gotten that
convince you
without
of this,
cheating.
but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked, and there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly.
Stiggly
Feel this
Wiggly.
moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Alright. That was pointless. Which I guess was the point.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies
Yeah, I
at
want
the
to
end
find
of this
the
road you've chosen? Well,
achievement
don't let
machine.
me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay,
Where's
I'm going to stop
surely
you
the
there.
machines here?
Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Oh, well, now this is useful. You didn't like it, but you didn't totally hate it either. You enjoyed it, perhaps is the correct term. It didn't cause you excruciating pain. Big steps we've made here today, Stanley. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
I wonder how the meeting room has changed. Whoops.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you
It doesn't
feel
matter what you
motivated
choose
to
in
keep
this bit,
walking through doors?
unfortunately.
Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards
Surely it's
danger.
here.
You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Bye-bye, baby.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's
Bye-bye.
over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes. This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from
All right.
up...
I'm gonna restart. Alright. So...
Stanley, I'm
Oh.
sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's
I
those
wasn't
figlets.
even looking.
Those figlets. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines.
Okay.
Just one more time.
When Stanley found the collectibles. Now remembering. I was just looking through some guides and apparently there's something to do with the jump circle. I need to find where that is.
Here's where it all
Can
began.
you find them?
The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
7 out of 6. Ooh, this is cool.
And here was a second Stanlerine. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the warehouse. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
Under stairs in boss's bathroom.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
This one.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here, under the stairs. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them.
No
I'm
way.
glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything. Let's see, what came next?
Ooh.
Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this
We
room.
never
but
found
it's
a Figley
in the
here.
memory zone, so it must have happened.
There was never a Figley here. What about the bathroom?
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was behind the boss's office. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Oh no. Oh my god. Is this Windows Movie Maker? It's so low quality. Oh my gosh.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot
That's
of time
funny.
making that video, but it
I
was
bet you
8
did.
minutes I wouldn't have spent
8
on anything
minutes?
else.
Oh my gosh. This game. There's nothing over there. And the last one.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others.
Yes.
Who can
Yes, it
truly
was.
say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Yep. Yes, it was. Wait. Do they both lead to the same thing? Yeah. This is the black line. You are in the present.
And then there was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left
Wasn't
to do
this
but move
room
onward
in
into the
the
future.
trailer?
Goodbye, memory zone.
Oh.
No, I'm not done. I'm not
No
ready
wonder
to
it's
move
taking
on.
so long
Stop
to
the
load.
loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels. Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep
I
going.
wonder
want
why. Door just fades out. Is he gonna play the special
And
video
here's
for
where I
me?
made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Oh my god.
Yes, I love that video.
Oh my goodness. What the? Whoa. Whoa, what the hell? Another scene?
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
It's the executive bathroom.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Oh my gosh. I have 16 collectibles now. Wait, I can go this way. Or not. Up the stairs. Oh, that place seems to
This
just
was our
load in.
second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going.
Okay. And the final one.
This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
What did come before this? Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what came before this. The expo room. Wait, is that the jump circle? Oh, I'm out of jumps still.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now.
Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories.
I want to jump. I'm not allowed to jump. I might end up having to completely reset my game to
the
jump.
2 doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
I do plan on resetting my game anyway to re-record
And
audio,
before everything else, there was your office.
because last
Is there
stream it
anything else?
didn't.
Was there something that
anything.
came
It
before
didn't-
your
it didn't.
office?
Does it sound?
There's something I
wasn't there?
feel I can remember. I can remember.
Oh. Are we
Yes,
gonna see
I'm remembering
baby
something
Stanley?
now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with.
Is this the canon
You know
ending?
what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Is this the canon ending?
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages.
Oh my
If at any
goodness.
time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
That was a recorded message though.
Ah, the embrace of an old friend, a weathered companionship that stands the test of time.
Oh, so this isn't the game restarting, this is just... Alright, makes sense.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
Alright, I'm gonna do the
Stanley
confusion
took the
ending.
door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Nope. Bye-bye.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet.
Oh, the
Because
Adventure
that's
Line
what
is
fans
here.
want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it.
The 2D
Don't you want another
billboard
story
file.
involving the Adventure Line?
Yes.
We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new.
Yes, tell me, tell me,
that's
tell
what
me.
the fans want. Let's do it. Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Yes. Can I climb? Oh. Did I actually just break the game? Okay, Steam guides. Go and look it up. Okay. Alright, I think I broke the game, but that's okay. I think I'm gonna end stream now. This game is so good. I'm glad that I found a way to break the game. I hope they actually add an update which puts an ending there, because that would be pretty funny. Next time we will continue the bucket endings, and hopefully, maybe there'll be more sliders. I don't know if there will be or not. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that stream. It was a lot of fun. And I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.